I'm making sevaiy today. This is my way I make it. With my recipe, I made a few changes, but you will see that it is one of the easiest desserts to make, and it's very tasty. What I usually do, traditionally, we would use ghee, which is clarified butter. These days, because people are watching weight or could be some other health concern, that oil can be used as well, any vegetable oil, just to cut down on the fats or the requirements that cannot be met with the butter. Okay, for example, for your cholesterol. So in a pot, I've got no oil because I want to be dry roasting some almonds. And this is already pre-roasted, but I want more color, and we usually like to add more color to it. It changes the taste, it gives a nice roasty flavor as well. And what sevaiy is sweet. It's a sweet dish, obviously, being a dessert, or any time if you like to eat sevaiy. It's the easiest dessert you could make because it's pretty much already prepared. All the flavors are in this. It's a wheat produce. So if you have gluten issues, you might like to get that checked out because it is a very recommended. Wheat is very rich and wealthy in frequency, and it's made out of wheat. Simple, plain flour wheat. If you are of a village background, then I'm sure you can make it at home yourself. These noodles, these dried noodles, you just need some sun. In Brisbane, there is sun, but it doesn't meet the requirements that I can dry vermicelli, so I buy it. So I'll show you in my pot. These almonds are roasting away. Again, it enhances the flavor. Now, aside from the flavor, there are a lot of benefits of almonds. I see there are people who are having children these days, and the children become allergic to the almond. So one of the two, whether it's the parent of the father or the mother, has obviously a missing part that gives the child that gene, okay, that they cannot consume almond. It is an extremely healthy tree nut. Otherwise, if you can consume it, you can leave the almonds out altogether. So now that the almonds are roasted, always make sure you're away from the heat for your own safety, whether it's you lower it totally. But once the almonds are roasted, I can now dry roast the sevaiy more. I have turned up the heat just a bit, so it's low to medium basically. The heat can't be too overpowering, please. Have a look at what's going on inside. Just a bit more of a red color. Now I love to use cardamoms in my sevaiya all the time, and also cloves. This clove is extremely strong too, so I only add 1 or 2 bites, but I'm leaving that out, and I'm also leaving cardamom out. My favorite is fennel seed, aside from all that, so I'm adding fennel seed to have a little bit of a roast as well. That's just 1/3 of a teaspoon. It is extremely strong in flavor, very similar to aniseed. So that's roasting away as well. If you would like to crush it and then add it, you can do so. You'll be your own boss, as Ruby would say. Now the other difference is this is not sugar, this is not brown sugar, this is jaggery or gur. Okay? That doesn't go in yet. Now here, the way I do it is I remove the pan or pot from the heat, leave it low because I'm adding milk. Now that gur, this is very auspicious. This is used for ladies or even men who, more so ladies actually, that do Friday pujas. On Fridays, they do Devi and Devi mother pujas. So this is Punjabi jaggery. It is sugarcane. There are 4 types of jaggery. I'll just educate a bit you on that. 4 types of jaggery. So I'm adding the milk. That's why I've moved the pot. You can understand why now. Sizzle, sizzle. Okay. It's almost 1 liter of milk. Again, if you can't have milk, you can substitute it for almond milk, but it's not going to give you the same flavor as dairy milk will. Normally, I would add a bit of water. Why the water? Because that will help the sevaiya to swell like spaghetti a bit more, or noodles even. Okay, I'll be back. So in this, the sevaiy amount I took was a little bowl full. That would be, take half a cup, and that is also, say, half a cup of jaggery, gur. So that's the other difference that I'm adding. Reason being that jaggery is supposed to be healthier than normal sugar, cane sugar, okay? And how that happens is it's processed down. How do you get jaggery out of normal sugar, sugar cane sugar? Is they use the juice, it's not the sugar, but they use the juice of the sugar cane and they cook it down. That's the process. Then it becomes into fine, crummy granules, and that's what gives you the color. And thus it's called sugarcane jaggery now, not sugarcane sugar. So I've also got, this is different, this is mild saffron. You can see it's very mild in changing the color. Saffron, aside from the fact that it turns into a turmeric color or gives it that yellowy color, is it has its own benefits and flavor as well. So added that very carefully. Almond, roasted. And that's all it pretty much is. Then you just let it cook. And I added some water to the kettle because I want to give it some water. I added that water to help the sevaiy swell up quicker. It'll help if I turn the heat up too, so I've done that. Now is a good time to add your sugar, your sweetness. If you're using condensed milk, it's amazing flavor, but I've never had with jaggery, and today I'm showing you how to make it with that. And the jaggery will turn it a brown color like evaporated milk. It looks like that in color now, as you can see. I'll be back. So at this point, it's not bubbling. I'm going to add a bit more water. So altogether, you will need at least, or about, depending on how you like to have your sevaiy, whether it's thick or thin, you will need almost 1.5 liters of milk if you are only using milk. Some would go for the full 2 liters, but I've added, that would be 1 cup of water and almost almost 1 liter of milk. And these, if you look at your food pyramid, this sequence of flavors and ingredients are your daily requirement actually. So you can Google that, okay, and have a look at your food pyramid. But because due to allergies these days, that will have changed as well. So all that is needing is a softening of the sevaiy sticks, the sevaiy noodles. A little tip I will give you is that if you find that you have added a lot of liquid, okay, and you want to reduce that, 2 ways of looking at it, 2 ways of dealing with that, so it doesn't become an issue for you, is that you can reduce it, keep cooking it until you see a reduction of liquid. The other one, and this one is tricky, it's a bit more advanced, is that use corn flour to thicken it like custard. That's what custard is. It's made out of corn flour, okay? Use corn flour. You'd use a tablespoon or 2 for this quantity if I wanted to thicken that straight away, but don't do that. The reason being is your milk flavors is not cooked. So deliberately adding your corn flour is not going to do it justice, and in the end you have to consume this. So you won't be getting a full satisfied bowl or morsel of your dish, okay? Cooking is an art, and it is also a science. So a good gut starts with good cooking habits. If you're like me and you've always consumed milk, then you're way ahead with your gut healing. You've got a good gut, and in turn that gives your children a good gut. Okay, so it's a side point, but it's a very important side too. All of this assists your body with frequency, so the earth can hear and heal where it needs to. And in actually what you are doing is yourself a flavor. You're doing your favor. You're doing your body a favor, because it's the earth that will be giving back to you, okay? And that's why we use the terms these days. It's an updated version of the word conscience. Your conscience is a definition of what you eat. So I have turned that up. You might be hearing the gas, but that is staying up. That will also speed up the cooking process because I need the milk to boil. So I'm not going to add corn flour because I usually don't, but I know that if I wanted it thicker in like a pudding version, then I would, because adding the corn flour will thicken it and you can put it into a dish, scoop it up with like ice cream, that consistency. Okay. I'll be back. With your lid, you've noticed that I haven't totally covered it. Two reasons for that is that I want to be able to see the boiling consistency and texture. And also, if I put the lid on, then you might have already caught onto it. That milk is going to overflow and I won't know. There we go, the milk is boiling. So now that it's sped up the process, I can stir it up a bit. And it's a beautiful color because of the jaggery, and also the saffron shade has pretty much vanished, but the flavors will still be there. So if I have a look now, pinch that noodle, it needs a bit more, see? It's extremely strong, these noodles, when you put it in sweets. That's why I usually add water to assist with the speed level, because milk does not have that speedy level. It is a solid liquid, but the water is an amazing commodity. So what you've seen today is what I normally do is the opposite. And I usually soften it with the water, adding the water, and then finally the milk goes in, whether that's evaporated or condensed for the sweetness. But I add it last and then let it cook at boil up. Lovely fragrance. There's a bhajan in Hindi where there's a line to Lord Krishna, and it mentions that, you know, to give fragrance to assist your nose. And fragrance is a must when you want to learn the art of smell. The best place to go is to nature, because that is where you get it from. And your cooking ingredients, your spices, your herbs, these are vital to life aside from water. So the prasadam, where it's offered to idols, and it's in all symbol because that is where all this gyan or information came from in the first place. So I've added the rest of the milk, basically 1 liter full, complete. And I'm going to let that reduce. As it cooks, it thickens, and then the sevaiy, that's all I'm waiting for is to soften. It needs to soften. If you eat that, you're not going to like it. I won't. Let me see. can't really taste anything because that was just like, you know, a smidgen. But I know just by the fragrance, it is flavorsome. Take some. It's just the right sweetness. And it's actually very beautiful in flavor with the jaggery. But sweetness. Sweetness is good, of course. You need it for your glucose level and also energies. The other one doesn't mean you fill your body up with sugar. It means that your glucose level stays happy, balanced, and also it releases cortisol. And that's a mood for you, good for your happiness. If you have depression, then gourd is a healthier alternative. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are 4 types. The latest one, meaning most recent, okay, updated one is your date palm jaggery, and that will be slightly, because of its value and benefit content, it will be slightly more expensive, pricey, but it is the best that you could go to. So if you are having Ramadan, date palm jaggery would be what you want more than anything else for your sweet dishes. I am sure of it. So there's coconut jaggery, there's coconut sugar jaggery. There's this one is sugarcane jaggery, and there is date palm jaggery, and there is also palm jaggery. So that's almost ready because the noodles softened, but I just wanted to thicken a bit more. The other benefit, if you switch, what I'm going to do now is switch the gas off. So switching the gas off will mean that the temperature of the milk is still extremely hot, which means that the sevaiya is going to continue cooking. So now I've turned it off, and just the lid on. Okay, make sure that the steam's not coming out here. And I will just towel that. And then it's done. Thank you for watching.